In the previous video, we saw how to have links inside a grid view, which linked to another page with products of that category. But in this tutorial, we're going to use jQuery to accomplish a hierarchical grid view. And what I mean by this is as follows. When you click on the link view, another row appears below the row that we clicked on with the product of the category. So let's see how to do this. I started a new website in Visual Web Developer. Let's remove the default formatting. And let's get the Northwind database. And we'll drop in Northwind into app data folder. And here it is. Let's double click on the database. Let's open up the tables folder. Let's go to design mode. And let's drop in the categories table. And Visual Studio will create a grid view along with a data source for us. And now let's edit columns. And we're going to convert the category ID column to a template field. And click on OK. Let's go to the source. And we're just going to copy over the text value of the label inside the item template, which is inside our template field. After that, we'll remove that table. And all we need here is a regular HTML link. And we'll leave the href empty. We don't need that. We'll give it a class of view so we could reference it in jQuery. And we'll give a custom attribute of data ID, which is this category ID, which is going to be almost equal to what we copied over, with the exception of bind, which needs to be eval. And the text is going to be view. It's giving us a green error, but that's nothing. We don't have to worry about that. Now let's drop in jQuery, which is provided by default with Visual Studio 2010 or Visual Web Developer. And it's an older version, but it's not the current one, but it'll do just fine. So far, we'll leave everything as is on this page, and we'll go ahead and create a new page with our grid view for the products, which jQuery will load into our first grid view. So we'll call it products by cat ID. We won't select the master page, and it gives us a div, and we're going to give this div an ID, and you'll see why later. Content, and we'll drop a regular grid view into here. Oops. Let's go into design mode. Well, I forgot to close off. Let's give it a new data source. Will be a database. We'll use the connection string which it has created for us. We'll be using alphabetical list of products, and we'll get the product ID, product name, maybe quantity per unit, unit price, and a couple of more fields. The important part is, of course, to click on where. We'll select category ID equals source query string, and we'll give that query string, we'll call it cat, and click on add. Click on OK. And we are done with this page. Now let's get back to our default ASPX and start writing some jQuery code. We'll open up a new script block. And the first thing we want to do is capture the click of any link which has the class of view. That click. We'll start a function in there. And we'll close off the function and close off the click event and put a semicolon. And inside this function, we're going to append an extra row to the closest to the container row of this link. If you know anything about HTML tables, which Visual Studio actually puts out when it creates a grid view, HTML tables, the rows are presented by TR tags, and cells within the row are represented with TD tags. So what we want to do is put a TR tag right after the TR tag within which our view link is and the one that was actually clicked. So let's first get a reference to the TR, to the parent TR within which this link is contained. So we're going to write this dot closest TR dot after, and in here we're going to add our TR and TD tags. Well, let's just close that off. And this is how we write it. TR. Let's give it an ID of products. And let's close off that TR tag. Inside this TR tag, we're going to put a TD tag. Let's close that off. And this TD tag must take up the entire width of the grid view. And I believe we have, and the way we do that is we write call space equals, and this must be in double quotes since this whole statement here is in single quotes. A call space, I believe we have 3 columns. So it should stretch across the whole row, the whole entire row. And while we add it, let's cache the ID of this link. So var cat ID equals this dot attribute data ID is what we called it. And now we have the ID, the category ID, which is being clicked on. The next thing we want to do is load in this page, which is going to be products cat by cat ID.aspx question mark cat equals and the ID. That's the way it looks. Let's just take a look at how this page is going to look when we load it that way. Click on OK. Nothing shows because we didn't put in a cat, but if we put in a category, let's say 3, here we go, we have all the products within category whose ID is 3. So we need to be able to pass the same thing to jQuery with this load method. So first let's get a handle on this TD that we just, TR and TD, which we just created. So what we do is write the following code. We want to get a handle on the TR, which has the ID of products. And we're looking, of course, for the TD tag inside of it. And we'll write that load. And we need to specify a URL as string. Since it's in the same directory, all we have to do is just copy over the name of this page. And followed by question mark, cat equals. And now, if you remember, we cached the category ID. So we need to write plus get ID. And one more thing, we're only looking for the div with ID content. So the way we do it is as follows. Let me just close that off. Write a semicolon. We'll put a space in here, hashtag, that's for ID, and content. But remember, since this link can be clicked multiple times, it'll keep on adding this TR and TD and keep on loading it in there. And once there are more than one products elements with ID products, the thing will get confused. So what we want to do is, let's copy this, remove it first if it exists. So that's very simple. All the way on top, anything that has an ID products, we want to remove. And this should work. Let me just check that the attribute is called data ID. Yes, it is. And the class is view. So let's try this out. Let's click on view. Oh, we're forgetting one more thing. We just need to make sure that the link doesn't do anything besides that. So what we want to do is return false and close that off. And let's try that again. And we'll click on view. Well, something obviously is wrong because this TD is taking up only one column. So we needed to take up the entire column. Let's see what we can do. And my apologies, we shouldn't have called it col space, but col span. And now it should work. And lo and behold, this grid view takes up the entire column. The only thing that I see wrong with this is there's absolutely no padding. And it's very flush, so let's give it some padding. Style equals, again in double quotes, padding, let's give it 5px. Now let's run again. And sure enough, the padding is 5px. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you liked it, please thumb it up and share it, and please subscribe. Thank you so much.